Kyle Brandt was all in on Tua.
All in, yes.
He says he's on the Tua train. Count me in, too.
Didn't care that he's playing Aaron Donald.
Count me in. Count me in. I think the Dolphins, look, Fitz what? What would Fitz do? Could Fitz go, and I know we just spent some time last hour. You never know. Fitz could have done what? Won 10 games this year with Miami. Let's just give him 10 games, threaten to win the division. I think the Bills are going to win more than 10 games, personally. I think they go 6-2 halfway through the season. All they need to do is go 5-3 on the back end. You got yourself 11 wins. I don't think the Dolphins have already lost to Buffalo. This is not going to be the season for anything transformational. It would have been a nice playoff. It could have been the Alex Smith Kansas City Chief team that went far, or as far as they could go. And I think Alex is a more talented guy than Fitz, personally. But I equate the two in the fact that you got yourself a kid that's really dynamic. You've drafted, you've gotten the kid that you wanted. Mm-hmm. And Mahomes, it was time to hand the reins over and finish up with Alex Smith. They were able to finish the season with Alex Smith in the playoffs. This year, they didn't even want to wait, because you do in this league need to turn to your guy and get him the reps. And Tua's not just, say, any old anybody. He's a guy who was, in my mind, the first overall pick going into last year's college football season. Joey Burrow, even when he was throwing all those touchdown passes, it was still Tua in the mix until Burrow did beat Tua in the SEC championship game known as LSU and Alabama during the regular season last year. So put it all together, and you've got Tua with a hip injury, drafted 5th overall. And I think he is going to be dynamite. Dynamite. And I can't wait to see what he looks like. And I can't wait to see what the running game looks like with him. As Myles Gaskin is coming on strong. I can't wait to see how it all works. Now, the problem is who his first opponent is. But before we get to that, I just want to add more sense on why I feel this way by hearing Tua. Okay? He spoke yesterday. This is what he had to say about his relationship with Ryan Fitzpatrick. He was asked if it's any different now. And this is what he had to say.
Nothing really feels any different. Now that I'm in, the only thing that's different is I'm getting the reps now. But with Fitz, after series, and when we have our first team series, second team series, third team series, I come off to the sideline, and Fitz always has something that he wants to say to me, whether it has to do with protection, with where he would look at as far as progression reads, and how he would read certain things out that can make it easier for me, hopefully come time Sunday.
Sounds hesitant, right? Sounds like he's not ready for it, right? Sounds like there's some second thoughts, third thoughts. There's a little bit of confidence problems, right? He sounds like Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Good one. He does.
He does.
I know he gets compared to him because of his stature and his popularity. Left-handed Russell Wilson, we heard first week. He sounds like Russell
He does.
Wilson. Let's hear him talk about leadership. Let's see if he's lacking in that department. Mike, you want to play this, please?
The same Tua I've always been. I don't got to go out yelling at guys. That's just not the way I lead. I'm just going to be me, how I am on the sideline, how I am off the field. It's pretty much how I'm going to be on the field. There might be certain instances where, we might get into it a little bit with the receivers or, the linemen. But, everyone's just so competitive here. That's just the nature of how the game goes sometimes.
Again, speed of the game's going to be different, and I think he's going to meet the moment. I really do. And in terms of speed of the game, really different. Boy, does he got a huge first test. That Aaron Donald is an absolute, total nightmare to prepare for. You don't know where they're moving him around. He's so amazing. And as you know, I feel Aaron Donald is going to be one of those cool Hall of Famers who fits his Hall of Fame jacket perfectly at age 50-something, like he was still 30. You know, like the Mel Blunts,
Like
Rod
Mel Blount.
Woodsons.
I was trying to think of like a linebacker or defensive lineman who's like that too, like John Randall.
I think Kevin Green.
Kevin
You know what I
Green,
mean? They
for
walk
sure.
around. You know, these
Yeah.
guys, they walk around and you think they can give you some snaps. That's the first guy. And then that's Jalen Ramsey sniping in the back. So he may not even win this weekend. But you're getting going. You're getting going. And then you tell me, and I know it sounds disrespectful. I know it does.
Uh-oh.
I know it does. I know it does. I know it does. Are you watching Fitz versus Kyler Murray? Yeah, sure. I mean, it's
yes,
fun. It's going to be
but-
Dolphins and it's going to be Cardinals.
Right,
Are you watching Tua versus Kyler Murray? You bet you are. You bet you're going to seek that out. Yeah, you are. So from just a relevance standpoint, the Dolphins are about to become as relevant as they have become since Marino played. Fact. With all due respect to Chad Pennington and his 2008 campaign.
Won a division.
I got it. Even then, it was just like, well, you know, Brady's hurt. Well, honestly.
Tua went third person there, too. Which I did enjoy that.
He went second person, I think. He's just going to be the
said,
same
I'm gonna
Tua.
be the same Tua?
No, third person would have been Tua's going to be the same
Gotcha.
Tua.
Okay.
Like, he said, I'm just going to be the same Tua I always
here
am.
for it regardless, though. Second
So
person,
he could have gone. He could have gone. I'm just going to be the same me who I always am. I'm just going to be the same person. He said I'm going to be the same Tua, which does give you a little bit of sense that he's got that.
I like that.
He's got. I do like that.
I mean, this guy came in as a freshman in the biggest game of the year off the bench, and showed no signs of being afraid. So
he sounded like Russell Wilson. That's the first thing I thought of. Not like, well, gee whiz, I've really been waiting for this opportunity. You know, like honestly, boy, I've been really waiting for this moment, and this is going to be great, and I can't wait to live up, and I can't wait to show the fans what I can do. No, the only thing that's different is I'm just taking the reps now, and he's helping me out doing this and doing that, and there may be some times when I get into it with the receivers and I get into it with the linemen, but that's just the way the flow is going to be. And I know that part of that might be, hey, he's played in this closest thing to professional football as there is in the SEC. You know, hey, when I was looking at LSU across the line, I'm probably going to see half those guys over the next 8 weeks. I get it. Oh, baby, I'm ready for it. I really am. Very, very excited. Very, very excited, and that's Miami versus the Los Angeles Rams, who are making their 19th trip to play a 1 o'clock Eastern game already this year. It's been impressive. Been impressive with them playing the AFC East and NFC East. It ain't easy. Well, until they host the Jets in Week 15. But that's for another day. That's down the road. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.